My strawberry. It's one of my faves. It's so crisp and refreshing. A couple of videos ago, I made fresh tomato sauce out of sugar bomb tomatoes, but I didn't have everything that I needed and I did not strain the tomatoes. So today I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna make a blush sauce. We're gonna use some cream, white wine. I'm actually gonna add some onion to this. I was trying to do a Vidalia onion, a sweet onion, but I opened up a different onion and I started crying. It's not gonna be a sweet onion, but normally I would like to use a sweet onion in this. Some tomatoes, we'll strain it and then I'll show you what it looks like. Come on. So, let me show you. I put some oil in the pan, I covered the pan. I'm gonna heat this up, put it on like medium heat. And I got some onions chopped up. So I'm gonna use all sugar bomb tomatoes because they are really sweet. Someone who loves me very much dropped a bunch of containers off at my house. It was me. So I think I have 4 containers here. They're all washed and ready to go. So flavorful. Let me see. That's the 3rd one I tasted and all of them are sweet. So I'm gonna use about 3/4 of a decent sized onion and a whole head of garlic, because there's 4 containers here, but the head of garlic was small, so it's not going to be crazy overpowering, but enough to give it flavor. So while that's heating up, I'll be back. Okay, so I just put the onions in. We're gonna let those saute. Immediately now, I'm just like everybody else. I'm a famous TikToker. Oh. So we're gonna let those cook a little bit. The onions have been cooking for a minute. And I'm gonna add this beautiful garlic in here. And we're gonna probably lower the heat a little bit so the garlic doesn't burn. I always use extra virgin olive oil. If you're not frying hard, you know, you'll be good with the extra virgin. Still practicing for my movie career. Okay, we're gonna lower it now. We're gonna let that cook and then have a baby. Because they're married now. And then they're gonna have a baby, and you know what the baby's gonna be? Sugar bomb tomatoes. But first we have to give them a wedding gift. Some white wine. This is white wine that we had left over. It's white wine. You have to put white wine in there. Beautiful love story. You know what we gotta do? Clean up, clean up. First let's wipe. And we're gonna spray some of this so our counter does not smell like garlic. We're gonna wipe the soap off. Okay, so now we're gonna have a little chat. Story time while we're waiting for the onions and garlic to have a baby. So I used to go home for lunch every day from school. You know, we walked home a few blocks. I don't remember why we had to stay in school this one particular day, but I remember we had to stay in school for whatever reason. And I didn't have lunch that day and I didn't have money to buy lunch. So this one girl, she was so kind and generous that I sat down next to her and she saw that I didn't have lunch. And she said, if you want this, you can have it. And it was a fruit roll-up. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so sweet. She gave me the fruit roll-up. So then, you know, like 8 minutes go by and she gets done eating her sandwich and she's looking on the table like, where's my fruit roll-up? Looking for the fruit roll-up. And I'm thinking to myself, like, she just told me that I could have that. And I said, didn't you say I could have it? She said, yeah, I said you could have a piece. And then she started flipping out. I felt so horrible. But before I admitted that, I was looking in the trash and everywhere to help her find the rest of the fruit roll-up that was in my stomach or esophagus traveling on down. Anyway, I feel like I always invited embarrassing situations in my life. I was so embarrassed as a child. I was embarrassed of everybody and I was embarrassed of everything. I was embarrassed of myself. I was embarrassed of my parents. I was embarrassed of everybody. So one of the times, I mean, I was a kid. I couldn't have been more than 6 and I was at a neighbor's house, a neighbor girl's house. And I remember sitting on a little blue chair, like this is what sticks out in my mind. And I kept thinking, like the whole time I'm playing, I'm thinking, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. Now, you know, when you're 6, you don't have the capacity to hold your bladder like you do when you're older. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. But I'm embarrassed. I don't want to use the bathroom. So I just sat in the back because I was so scared to ask to use her bathroom that I just sat in the back on a chair and I peed myself. And then when her mother saw me, she said, why didn't you ask me? Or why didn't you tell me that you had to go to the bathroom? Or why didn't you just use the bathroom? And I just looked at her and I started crying. I could not speak. I could not speak. I'm shy. I'm embarrassed. I was always afraid, like every time in my mind, if I had to speak to somebody, I would just get like the fear was over me. And I would just get like, oh my gosh, they're going to be mean. They're going to be angry. I'm not going to be able to speak right. They're not going to understand me. Like, it was an unhealthy fear that I was born with, because I remember always being shy. And, you know, my parents told me that I was always shy. So doing this, when I tell you, it's a surprise and a shock to me, because by nature I was shy, embarrassed, ashamed in some ways. And I would never do something like this. And that also speaks to God and growth and hope, because God put it in me to want to overcome these things and not to stay stuck inside of myself. Anyway, let's check on our onions. So they're really beautiful and soft. Let's put a little salt. Just a little, because we're going to salt as we go. A little pepper. Normally I would put the white wine before I put any kind of can of tomatoes in, so the alcohol can cook out. But I'm going to put the tomatoes first, since they have to saute, and I want them to, you know, get the salt in there and saute with the salt and pepper. And then once we strain it, and then I'm gonna put wine in there. So let's put the tomatoes in. This cookie spatula is great for many purposes. Okay, now that we got the oil all over them, we're gonna hike the heat up to probably high.
Let's see what she's watching.
Hi, Jamie.
Look.
We're talking about the bear. Oh my goodness, that's not a bear, that's a wolf. All right, so we're gonna salt. Oh, so we're gonna salt this before it falls, before my phone falls. That should be enough for now. We're gonna do some peppers. Bring the peppers. All right, let's mix this bad boy. Okay, we're gonna throw a little basil in here and saute that a little bit, okay? Oh my gosh. We're gonna put a lid on this. Is this the lid? It'll do. All right, we're gonna lower it to high, medium heat and let that simmer for 8 to 10 minutes, okay? So we're gonna check the tomatoes. Okay, they busted open. Some of them are still a little hard. Still a little hard. Let them cook for another 5-ish minutes, okay? Okay. I'm leaving. I want to be. You don't want to sing? You don't want to sing? You don't want to sing? So the problem is I don't have a masher because it broke like not too long ago. One of the little metal pieces came out on my mashed potatoes. So I had to throw it out, and of course I forgot to get a new one. Oh, but I have this. But I have this meat crusher, so we're gonna use this. Do it easy because you know these bad boys squirt. Now I'm getting careless because I don't feel like doing it anymore. I'm gonna smash it with the garlic and the onions in there, and it's just gonna be bursting with flavor. Gotta make sure they're all smashed out, because then we're gonna, as we continue cooking it, the skin's gonna come off, and then we're gonna strain it. I'm hungry. All right, so we're gonna lower this, and now we're gonna put it in the strainer. Since I don't feel like getting out the big strainer, we're just gonna use the
Stars of love.
I'm hungry. I gotta get the strainer out.
Stars of love.
But I had to get the strainer out because the other day when I did it, there weren't that many tomatoes. Now I just have way too many tomatoes, so. But if you don't use a lot of tomatoes, you could just use the regular strainer. So, I think we got pretty much all of the tomatoes out of there. Here's the rest of them. It's gonna be real nice. Let's put it up a little higher. We're gonna add some wine. Probably like a half a cup-ish. Put it up to high medium so we could cook that out while we're straining this bad boy. See, now we'll have all of the skin and all of the seeds out. And if you have diverticulitis or losis, then you probably most likely won't have trouble. Cook out that wine. It's gonna taste. It's already so good. It's so sweet. It's delicious, so good. It's not done yet. I gotta do the
Very good.
sweet, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Alright, so now we're gonna put the cream in. We're just gonna eyeball it. Honestly, I don't even want to put cream in this because it's already delicious, but that was about a quarter cup-ish. A little bit more, maybe an eighth of a cup more. You must use the sugar bombs. You don't have to, but if you want a flavor explosion in your mouth, you must. All right, let's taste it. It's like drunken Italian love. Needs just a little salt. Bam, bam. We put some more fresh basil in because the other one we strained out of there. I think that's enough. I'm gonna mix this around. Get the salt and the basil up in there, and then we're gonna shut it off. And I'll come back and show you what it looks like over pasta. Okay, so it's been a little while. I just left the tomatoes on the stove. I'm gonna grill some chicken. I pounded it out, some breast, cleaned it, put some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and now put some olive oil in a different pan, and I'm gonna sear it and cook it through. And then we're gonna slice it, and I'm gonna put it on the side. I'm not gonna mix it in with the tomatoes because I'm gonna save the tomatoes. There's gonna be leftovers, so I'm just gonna put the grilled chicken on the side. And whoever wants to put it on there or mix it in, they can do it themselves. While the chicken is cooking, I also put a pot of water on and put some salt in the water. This tastes closest to homemade pasta out of a lot of the ones that I've tasted. And you could just take a couple of these and then save the rest. Like, they're so cute. Little bird's nest. I got the chicken. Now you could even put some fresh spinach into the tomato sauce. My husband doesn't want the spinach, and I wanted it earlier, and I came home and now I don't want it, so I'm not gonna put it. But if you want to get a little extra spinach, vegetables in there, you could throw some in there. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't speak today. Like I said, this chicken will stay on the side. Let's taste it. Pasta's almost done. Here come my dogs. They know that there's meat being cut. Little rascals. Okay, let's plate. Yummy. Yummy. Little pecorino romano. Yes. Little hot pepper flakes. That's my husband's. He doesn't want chicken. Hold on. I'm gonna have a little bit of chicken. I'm going to have pasta tonight because I don't have any leftover, what do you call that stuff? Spaghetti squash. Squash. It's okay. Gotta enjoy. When I tell you this is good enough to drink, it's good enough to drink. And everything that I make is good, and I'm not just saying that. you know, it's edible, it's good, it's tasty, right? It's good and right, but this is supreme, superb, higher above the rest, okay? You have to make tomato sauce from the Sugar Bomb tomatoes. It's not like the other tomatoes, okay? So I'm gonna taste this for you, okay? Get a little piece of chicken. I'm gonna drink it. It's so good. It's really delicious. It's really delicious, guys. The Sugar Bombs are out of control. I'm not saying that you should put burrata on this if you had it, but you should put burrata on it if you have it. Thanks for watching.